All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Got a whole bunch of good crypto news stuff for you. It's been a while, but hey, things aren't looking so good, but when are they ever? The crypto market, kind of in turmoil, but just another day in crypto. Also, the stock market, not doing so good either. However, the first thing that I want to talk about is slightly old news, and it's about the Steem community takeover and what went down with that. So it involves CZ from Binance, Justin Sun from Tron, two people that I never really honestly trusted that much. And I know that Binance is probably overall people's favorite crypto exchange. I never actually really liked it. I know, weird, but I never really trusted CZ, never really trusted Justin Sun, or most of these exchanges, to be totally honest. I don't even know. Anyway, so the scandal surrounding the Steem blockchain continues to unfold after Juggernaut exchange Binance Hubai. I don't know if I'm ever saying that exchange right. I've never used it, and I quite frankly don't care. And Poloniex were heavily criticized by community members for allegedly mobilizing customer deposits to take over this, the network. Two of those firms announced they were backing off. So they were using Steem to essentially vote and become like master voters on the network. And they were using all of your funds too. How awesome. And Binance recently added it. And well, what a coincidence. So meanwhile, Tron CEO Justin Sun, who has recently acquired Steemit, another coincidence. The startup behind the major blockchain-based blogging social network platform has referred to the disgruntled voters who tried to reclaim control as hackers who have been successfully defeated. However, as the latest development shows, Sun intends to withdraw all of the orchestrated votes as soon as possible. So no, that sort of just jumped right into it. But basically, Justin Sun bought Steemit, and then immediately sort of started taking over the network. The Steem blockchain went live in March 2016 by entrepreneur Ned Scott and developer Dan Laramere. So it is a delegated proof-of-stake platform. The Steemit platform was essentially a blog site where you would upvote people's content, and that would give them more money, more Steemit, Steem dollars, etc. And then you'd have Steem Power, which you would use to vote. And basically, these exchanges got together, got a whole bunch of it, and started basically taking over the entire network. Now, why? Well, probably for money, but other reasons than that, I really don't know. Now, I used to use Steemit, and I used to post all of my content on there as well. And quite frankly, I think over the course of like a year that I was doing it, maybe even longer, maybe even upwards of 2 years that I was posting like every video on there. And I know that's not probably quality content on Steemit, as it was mostly just YouTube put on there essentially. I probably made like $30 or $40 on the whole thing. So it was definitely never even remotely worth my time. And from what I saw on Steemit was that the majority of people's content that was upvoted like crazy were just like photo bloggers and stuff, which just sort of rubbed me the wrong way. Now, don't get me wrong, it's probably more just envy than anything, but it was a crypto platform, and people just went on there and was like, look at my photo blog of my trip to Colorado, and they'd have like $700 in Steem upvotes. And it was just like, like, so is this a photo blog site or is this a crypto-oriented blog site? I don't know. I guess it's for everybody, but all those platforms sort of rubbed me the wrong way. Also, a lot of the platforms like BitTube, DTube, etc., where you would upload your YouTube content to, or you would just separately upload to, those were all sort of a waste of time for most YouTubers as well. There was a couple people on the platforms, on those decentralized platforms, which I do ironically support, mind you, as YouTube has been not so good over the past year, but at least for crypto YouTubers. But the problem was that you would have to upload the content to it and then tag everything, put thumbnails on there, monitor comments, or whatever. And just the whole process of doing that resulted in like 3 cents of some terrible coin that was just constantly going down in value. Because that's the problem with the decentralized platforms, is that you're putting your content on there to be paid, but you're being paid in a coin that has a market value that is always just going to go down. There's no reason for people to be buying the coin. The whole idea is that you're selling the coin for money so that you can afford to make content on that platform. So of course it's just inevitably going to go down, and that's sort of the problem with those. Another problem is that there's nobody there to watch your content. But Steemit was okay, and D2 was a part of that too, but wasn't very good. But on February 24th, worried that Tron might upend the security of the Steem blockchain, Steem community members banded together to implement a soft fork. The upgrade essentially deactivated the so-called Ninja Mine stake, which was historically been owned by Steemit, and is said to be compromised of approximately 74 million Steem tokens. Community representatives were afraid that Steemit, under the new management, might use the stake to govern the network, while apparently it's supposed to be used solely for the advancement of the Steem blockchain. So anyway, last month on February 14th, Scott announced, the entrepreneur Scott, who created with Dan Laramere, that he sold Steemit to Justin Sun, the Tron guy, which is a great idea. That's just a great idea. Sell it to the guy who's notorious for nothing. For basically nothing. I mean, Tron, it's okay. But, he's like the marketer of marketing. So he's just like, hey, there's an announcement coming that might be an announcement later on. I was thinking about making an announcement. And that was basically Justin Sun's MO for a good couple years. The guy that spent $4.5 million for a lunch with Warren Buffett that he put off for months and months and months. And then when they met up, he gave him I think a Trezor wallet or something like that, some Nano or something, with 1 Bitcoin on it and some Tron on there as well, which Warren Buffett promptly gave away, which then he got flack for doing that. Warren Buffett got flack for giving it away and for not being a Bitcoin fanatic or anything like that. But let me just squash that for anybody. Let me just say I'm not on Warren Buffett's side. Like, screw Warren Buffett. Fuck him. But the guy is worth like $80 billion or something like that, and is also in control of the world's highest value stock. Every stock of Berkshire Hathaway is some $300 and some odd thousand per stock. So it's not like cut up into pieces like most companies do, like into a bunch of dividends. It's just like they purposely held it back so the price is super high. And if you think Bitcoin is volatile, I dare you to check out Berkshire Hathaway stock and take a look at it and see what it changes from week to week. We're talking tens and tens of thousands of dollars for a week. So if you want to do some day trading, get yourself some Berkshire Hathaway stock. Oh, they're going to have to pay like $300 and some odd thousand for your first stock. But hey, you'll get there sooner or later. So the community representatives afraid that Steemit under the new management, that's the wrong one. But in response to community action, Tron allegedly orchestrated what has been described as a hostile takeover. As seen on the blockchain tracker around March 2nd, a number of major cryptocurrency exchanges who have Steem tokens listed to the platforms, namely Binance, Huobi, whatever, Poloniex, mobilized customer deposits to stake large amount of Steem tokens to vote in support of removing the previous witnesses. So as soon as Justin Sun buys Steemit, it goes up on Binance, so he's obviously got a hold of CZ and was like, hey, I got all this Steem now. Let me put it on Binance. Let's have everybody put it on Binance and all these other exchanges. And they mobilized all the customer deposits. So your deposits, if you had them on those exchanges, and was voting for on your behalf, but yet not on your behalf, on their behalf. So they were using your tokens to vote on their behalf. So according to community reports, a total of 42 million Steem power was leveraged to oust the top 5 witnesses in favor of a single user at Dev365. That's shady. An account allegedly owned by Justin Sun himself. As a result, all of the top 20 witnesses were eventually replaced with accounts powered by Steemit, Binance, which is powered by itself by Steemit. So it's a decentralized platform powered by itself as a witness. It's just so bad. Hoibe and Poloniex, all of which were created in February 2020. The move prompted a community outcry as decentralization pundits were outraged by the seemingly monopoly-inducing tactics. Even Ethereum developer Vitalik Buterin says apparently Steem DPoS got taken over by big exchanges voting with depositors' funds. Seems like the first big instance of a de facto bribe attack on coin voting. Moreover, following the largely negative reaction on social media, Steemit's head of communications, Andrew Levine, resigned from the project, clarifying that it was his own decision. Similarly, another key Steemit employee, a senior blockchain engineer, Michael Vandenberg, also announced that he was leaving. So this caused people to literally quit. In addition, some Steem dApp creators allegedly chose to remove their product from the blockchain in the wake of the power struggle. Soon after the takeover, Sun took to his Twitter report, Steem has successfully defeated the hackers, and all funds are super seifu. So, yeah. Basically taken one from CZ there. So defeated all the hackers and the funds were all seifu on centralized exchanges. Not good. As Sun explained in the following tweets, some malicious hackers froze 65 million Steem tokens legally owned by Steemit, which, most likely referring to the Ninja Mine stake. Upon consulting with the lawyer, Sun and his team were told that this was definitely a criminal activity. Yeah, probably was. Which is why they chose to control the network for a short period of time in order to prevent the said hackers from destroying the assets. I bet. We will commit to withdrawing the votes as soon as possible once we're sure malicious hackers can't sabotage Steem anymore. I bet. So it was this huge takeover, essentially. And soon after Sun posted about defeating the hackers, Binance CEO CZ announced that the exchange had removed its votes that contributed to a sudden shift to control over the Steem blockchain. But, nobody had control over the Steem blockchain. It was purchased by Justin Sun, and then they just basically used everybody's funds to vote around and vote out other people, so that it was just major exchanges and Justin Sun in charge of Steemit. So it's complete lies. It's basically complete lies. So now that centralized exchanges are withdrawing their proxies, original Steemit witnesses are claiming their space back as of press time. All of the current top 9, as well as the 11th witness, are approved, have over 10,000 voters, and joined the network circa 2016, 2017, while the remaining 10 witnesses have just around 80 to 150 votes each and were created in February 2020. To the community credit, you all started withdrawing from exchanges, which is just fantastic. You started powering up your accounts. You started voting. You started proxying for witnesses, Stokes noted in his recent update on the incident. It does seem like an ongoing battle, though. So, yeah, Steem, not good. I was never too big of a fan of it. I always thought that it was very easily manipulatable. There was nothing but bots, and there was nothing but people messaging you all the time on the Steemit blockchain, saying, hey, if you send 1 Steem power, we'll upvote your post 100 or 200 times. So essentially, you had to do that. If you wanted to be even remotely popular and keep up with the bots upvoting everybody's content, you sort of had to go on there and pay to upvote your content. And again, the people's content that was being upvoted was really not crypto related. I felt it was just a bunch of memes, just random photos being upvoted. I mean, people making hundreds of dollars just for uploading photos that you could have easily just ripped off the internet and was like, oh yeah, here's my, photo blog. It really didn't make sense to me. It seemed like most crypto people on there weren't making much of anything. There was even like TA people on there that just didn't seem like they were making anything on it. Like nobody really cared about the crypto aspect on a crypto platform. And it's kind of like that on BitTube, DTube, these other like decentralized video platforms, which again, I find odd that I'm bashing them, yet I do support that sort of thing, but there is no market. So if I, up and leave YouTube, or even if I just upload all my content to those platforms, it's just not really worth your time. I think DTube you had to individually upload, and like some of the other decentralized ones, you could just essentially sync your account and it would automatically sync over. So some of them you actually had to physically re-upload the video. So the process would be like make a video, edit the video, do whatever you need to, and then upload it to YouTube, put your tags, description, thumbnail, do your analytics stuff, network the video, post it, and then essentially do the same thing again for like 7 cents in some, basically in a shitcoin. That was just going down in price, down in price, down in price, because there's no reason for anybody to buy the coin. Because really the coin is designed to be sold because that's what you need to do to get paid on the platform. So the whole idea needs completely reworked. And there just isn't anybody on the platforms watching anything. If you were to Google, like, what is Bitcoin, or even Google me for my latest video, even though you would just go to YouTube for it, but whatever. Some of my videos are found on Google, just through analytics of just saying like, oh yeah, like these many people, just clicked from Google. Google is going to cache YouTube first. They're not going to cache some like DTube website and put that up top because so many people are clicking on it. It's just not going to happen. So those websites need reworked, in my opinion. I don't know what to do fundamentally, but essentially, Steemit, easily manipulatable with bots, bot upvoting, and then these other websites where you upload or you upvote for money. You get money, you get their coins for more views, you get their coins for more likes on your video. And again, those are all easily manipulatable just for money. And you could say the same thing about YouTube, I suppose, but at least they have algorithms to get rid of fake subs and things like that. But moving on to the crypto market. Ouch! Oh man, 7,800. We were down to like 7,600 Bitcoin, and everything. Ethereum dipped under 200. Everything is super low right now. Higher than we were just a little bit ago. I mean, you could always say that the lowest low of the year is always better than the previous year, sort of thing. So everything's doing pretty good, and this is nothing we aren't used to in the crypto world. But I do kind of want to talk about it and what's going on. So first and foremost, Plus token scam, like one of the biggest Ponzi schemes there has been in the crypto world, up there with OneCoin, up there with BitConnect, and it was sort of an only Chinese thing, and it sort of went under the radar. I never heard anybody really talking about it, shilling it. I've never heard, like many videos like of people, again, like shilling or talking about it. It sort of went under the radar until it was over and until the dumpening started happening. So one of the largest scams in the crypto industry history, and it continues to haunt the entire market. Repeatedly, the wallets linked to the scam have been dumping their holdings en masse, and there's still a lot left to be sold off. So to put things into perspective, the Plus token scam has accumulated some 200,000 Bitcoin and 800,000 Ethereum from its victims by the time the scam was uncovered in 2019. Although the creators of Plus Token were apprehended by Chinese authorities last year, it seems that the wallet is still very active and someone is still holding and using the private keys. On average, the Plus Token scam has been selling off 1,300 Bitcoin daily. This weekend, however, some $13,118 million was moved to be sold off. The owners of the scam wallet did the same thing when Bitcoin crossed 10,000 earlier this year, and as somebody said in a tweet. Effectively, the scammers can dump their BTC in the spot market and open a short 100x position. This way, they could effectively never lose. And again, that's sort of a problem with crypto and the whales. And I know, like, the whales, it's like saying, like, the conspiracy, like, they're out to get me. But it's an oversimplification, but not by much. Basically, as long as you have a lot of money, say you got a lot of money, well, you can buy a bunch of Bitcoin, which starts pumping the market. And of course, everybody sees that and they FOMO in and they start pumping. And you can see this all the time in Bitcoin charts. Just take a look at the charts and you can find it. You'll see a wall like this, just doop-a-doop-a-doop, and then boom, straight up. That's probably one person buying at a time or a group of people. All at once, in cahoots. And what that does is that everybody FOMOs in and it pumps it up, and then it Bart Simpsons out. It starts to flatline. And as soon as they see any kind of indication that the market is slowing down and starting to go down, you just open a short position on one of these BitMEX, whatever, and you open a short position. And then you start dumping it on all the markets that market is correlated to. So these, like BitMEX might be correlated to this exchange, and this exchange, and it uses it all as an average price, right? So if you start dumping on those markets and you really dump the price down, your short is fulfilled. You also gain money because you pumped the market. And even if you didn't gain any money, you still got all your money back for selling your Bitcoin, because you pumped it and then maybe you sold it equally and you're without loss at all. So you have your original amount of Bitcoin, and you also fulfilled a huge short on BitMEX, making you a ton of money, and you can just do that over and over and over again. And there's no regulation. There's nobody to stop you. There's nobody to know that. And you could just essentially do that ad infinitum, like you could just continuously do it. So at the time of publishing their massive wallet of 800,000, Ethereum has been static, but soon could wreak havoc on that market as well, which would essentially wreak havoc on the whole other market as well. Since I'd say the two most popular pairings are BTC to whatever coin, including like stable coins, and also Ethereum to stable coins and just about every other coin. So also, there's a little bit of an issue going on in the stock market. Of course, there's coronavirus that has been, in the media. Everybody's saying coronavirus. And there has been video of, Chinese factories, areas in China, areas in some parts of the world other than China as well, that are just a ghost town, which are normally pumping out tons of black smoke and productivity. I seen an article on that there is less smog and stuff coming out of certain regions of China because basically very little people are working at the moment in certain parts of the world. So that's not good for productivity and the stock market. Also, something just occurred recently as well, and that's the Saudi Arabia and Russia oil price war. So Saudi Arabia from time to time decides to produce a ton of oil. I remember during the Obama era, I was living in Arizona, where I was making the majority of my crypto videos, and gasoline got down, at least in my region of the United States, to about $1.30 or $1.20. It might have even been less. It was like the cheapest gas prices I've ever seen. And it was because Obama had this plan of increasing the natural gas production in the United States and becoming, more independent in gas and oil and such. And so Saudi Arabia was like, nah, we ain't having that. We're just going to produce an unbelievable amount of oil, which will drive the price down of oil. And then people will stop buying natural gas and they'll go back to oil. Oil and gasoline and diesel and everything else that you make from it. And it worked. It lowered the price down a lot. So again, this is happening again. With Saudi Arabia and Russia now entering the price war, Bitcoin has fallen some 9% on the daily today. It's currently hovering around the 7,900 price point, which, as we can see, that it's actually lower than that. I think it got down to about 7,600 and some odd. And although the ongoing oil dispute is undoubtedly the main catalyst for Bitcoin's drop, it is possible that today's loss has been exacerbated by Plus token dumping its Bitcoin. There are also other factors like depressed global demand, more generally due to the coronavirus scare. All of these compounding variables are depressing the price of Bitcoin and causing it to sink further. So, if you're wondering why Bitcoin is performing so poorly as a hedge nowadays, the answer may not be that it's being manipulated by scammers. Bitcoin cannot be a hedge if every opportunity it stays green and relentlessly exploited by selling off massive stockpiles. And I'm getting calls. But so, that's interesting because the stock market supposedly is, Bitcoin, rather, is supposed to be uncorrelated. It's supposed to be an uncorrelated asset. That's what we've heard over and over and over. But we've yet to see a major stock market crash, depression, what have you, with Bitcoin. As Bitcoin came out in 2009, right at the tail end of the stock market crash and the housing bubble, etc. And ever since, it's been going up and up and up. And if you really think about it, I mean, the Dow Jones here at 23,000 is way up. I mean, you can look at it was nearly, I think it breached 30,000, or was it nearly at 30,000? But you can see here recently, since the coronavirus, since this Russia oil, it's going down. And, clearly the market for crypto is going down as well. So it does seem that Bitcoin is quite correlated with the stock market, and that people were wrong in that assumption. And I never really assumed. I was always just wondering. And, I think this is maybe not cold hard proof, but it certainly isn't proof that it is uncorrelated. That's for sure. Because the stock market's going down, Bitcoin's going down. And when the stock market's going up, Bitcoin is looking pretty good as well. The Dow plunges 2,000 points, the biggest decline since 2008, 2,000 points in a day. And when the Dow, when the stock market goes down by 8% right off the bat, that's a major problem. And the stock market will literally shut down for 15 minutes at a time. And then if it goes down another 15%, it'll shut down for like 15 minutes. Crude oil tumbles 31%. So the stock market not doing good and the crypto market not doing good, quite correlated. And we can see that we need a good market. But, the Federal Reserve is apparently slashing interest rates back to zero. They want to start quantitative easing again to raise all of this back up during the coronavirus scare and during this oil plunge. So we'll have to see where that all goes. But that's just about all I have for you guys today. Just wanted to talk about the market. I wanted to talk about the Steem community thing. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And as usual, I'll see you guys next time.